A historic day at City Ground. Unbelievable scenes thanks to Dean Henderson towards the end there, but fantastic as Nottingham Forest win 1-0 against Liverpool. Emphatic for Forest, alarming for Liverpool. Janusz, Michallik, Luis Miguel, Echegaray, LME. Janusz, initial reactions from this tremendous victory.
Well, I mean, I guess from depending on which side you right? Most people will look at Liverpool because you look at this as a failure and to some degree it is, right? I mean, after such a big or massive win against Manchester City, of course, which was followed by another win against West Ham, some would start to think that maybe Liverpool are back, right? And I think that would be right opinion. But as I've said it then, and I'll repeat it again. I think that was dependent on the sort of intensity that we saw against Manchester City, and can Liverpool maintain what they once had? That sort of intensity every game, and I was worried about that. And today was another example. We'll get to the excuses because they're significant for Liverpool. You can't look past them, but you can pick and choose when you have that sort of intensity, because this game, both teams were fighting for their lives at opposite ends of the table.
Janusz, as you're talking, I'm just looking at the reaction here from Liverpool fans. Let's just stick with Liverpool for a second. Nottingham Forest, unbelievable stuff. Obviously, to get this victory, historic in every single way, making the bottom of the table even more interesting. But Liverpool, something that I noticed and something that we were talking about in the summer was how Jurgen Klopp really needed to strengthen this squad from a depth perspective if he really wants to challenge for the title. Obviously, he admitted to that very point later on in a few weeks after that. But I'm reading things right now, Klopp out. This is just, how alarming is it for Liverpool, I guess, is my question. I know that it sounds like a simple question, but in terms of, the disaster when it comes to trying to challenge for the title against the Man Cities and even the Chelseas and, of course, Arsenal, who are leading the way, how alarming is it for Liverpool fans right now and Jurgen Klopp?
It's alarming. Again, I was in the camp, when they beat Manchester City, that would say they're back and they're fighting for the challenge. So although disappointing here, I think Liverpool are still capable. We've seen the number of chances they had of winning this game. But no team can withstand the number of injuries. Now we can question why those injuries. Some of them are bad luck. Some of them, who knows, right? But look, already going into this game, we knew about Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota. I don't even want to mention the Matips of the world. But when just before the game you find out that Thiago Alcantara has an ear infection, Darwin Núñez, who of course scored three goals in the last 4 games for Liverpool, finally starting to get adjusted to this team after a slower start, after 3-game suspension for a red card. It's difficult. It's impossible. I looked at the bench and you say to yourself, well, who's gonna come in and make that difference, right? So even the biggest teams like Liverpool, when you have number of so many injuries, and we've seen that, remember 2 or 3 years ago when Liverpool's backline was decimated at the time, you just can't withstand that no matter how many players you buy. So that is a little bit of an excuse, but, and this is a big but, even in a game like this today, the leaders have got to lead, right? And Virgil van Dijk today, 38th minute, that header, I don't know if he was passing. What was he doing? He should have been scoring that goal. He's had another, chance late in the game. I think if you look at Mo Salah, he had 2 or 3 very good chances that at his best he puts away. So look, from that standpoint, that's when you need those big names, leaders come through. You're in trouble when young Harvey Elliott and a little bit older James Milner are your 2 best players. And of course, Alisson is a goalkeeper.
We cannot go away very quickly. Nottingham Forest, unbelievable. They gambled on Steve Cooper saying, we're going to give you a new contract, even though things are not going well. And look what just happened. How big is this for Forest? I mean, it's a big victory.
Yes, it's massive. Obviously, a little bit of change of system. Very, very smart. When you're at the bottom of the table in the last few weeks, you have to change things. You saw that 4-5-1 formation, which made it difficult for Liverpool because there were numbers in the center of the pitch. But most importantly, they had the width, which prevented Robertson, right? I mean, until very, very late, you couldn't even tell that he was in the game. And James Milner, to a lesser degree, go forward as well. So they had numbers inside and width to deal with Liverpool's wide game, which is often very, very dangerous. They had discipline. I think the charged atmosphere before the game in the stands spilled onto the players on the pitch. You saw the physicalness of Nottingham Forest, which was to be expected, but I think Liverpool had a tough time maybe dealing with that. And it was a bit of a team on a mission. And all that goes away with the 1 or 2 chances that Liverpool had to put it away. I think would have made it easier, but of course they didn't. And let's be honest with Forest, because they had chances, right? Even after that 1-0, I'm trying to think right now. There was another chance. I think Gibbs-White missed a massive opportunity right after they went 1-0 up. Then we saw Yates stopped by Alisson very late in the game. So they had their chances. They weren't just in a defensive setup. Nottingham Forest found ways to ask questions of Liverpool. So this wasn't just one-way traffic by any means.
Yeah, towards the end, they even hit the post. The desperation, I believe, was the key word here for Liverpool. Forest could have even scored another one towards the end. But Taiwo Awoniyi was once rejected by Liverpool. He becomes the scorer in this game on the 55th minute. Nottingham Forest picked up their first Premier League victory in 10 matches, while Liverpool have failed to win any of their first away matches in the Premier League season for the first time since 2006-2007. That was under Rafa Benitez. So what do we do now, says Jurgen Klopp? Well, I'll tell you what, Nottingham Forest say we keep on going.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.